For the first time since 1994, Davis Cup tennis returns to the nation's capital, and I'm now joined by a man who knows all about it, Mr. Gavin Ziv, VP of Professional Events for Tennis Canada. Now, Gavin, what can fans here in Ottawa expect from this weekend's Davis Cup tennis here at TD Place?
Davis Cup tennis isn't like your normal tennis match. It's patriotic, country versus country. So the 3 days of tennis will have a lot of good tennis.
Joined now by a man who knows a little bit something about TD Place and tennis as well, Sportsnet's Arash Madani. Arash, thanks so much for joining us.
Yeah, great to be here.
So, you obviously have a lot of experience working here at Lansdowne in Ottawa. Just speak a little bit about your experiences working here at TD Place many years ago.
It's amazing now coming back to Lansdowne Park and seeing what it's become. I mean, it's absolutely wild to think for how long this place was in decay and now what a world-class facility it's been. I was around here when the Ottawa Renegades were playing. I was their PR director.
And you've covered Davis Cup, of course, all around the world. Now, what does it mean to you to be covering here in a place that you know well, but also in the nation's capital?
It's fantastic to see what Davis Cup has become and that it's moved all over the country. We've gone to Halifax, we've gone to Vancouver, and now we're back here. And you know, the one constant from 1994 to now is Daniel Nestor. But Mayor Jim Watson had something really interesting to say. Mayor Jim Watson, before this event even began, said it's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for the people of Ottawa, and he's right.
Certainly a celebrity in his own right here in the nation's capital. We have Ottawa's own Jesse Levine. Jesse, thanks for your time.
Oh, thanks for having me.
So, of course, you played on the professional tour for a couple years. Now you're coming back to a professional tennis event here in Ottawa. What's this whole experience been like?
Well, for me, it's pretty surreal, right? I grew up at the Ottawa Athletic Club and went there every day after school.
A really nice problem for him to have, Chris. What does he do with it?
Well, absolutely. It's just like you said, it is a positive problem, but I think he has to go with who has the hot hand. You have some players coming back from injury, so we see James Bailey inserted back into the lineup for Obasi, so he'll have to kind of play around with who's feeling the hot hand here tonight after last week's great win against Minnesota, but certainly something we wish he could have had earlier in the season for Paul.
He hasn't had that luxury. Last week he did. Do you expect more of that tonight?
Absolutely. I think that they've got that confidence now that they believe that they can score goals, and we're seeing Giuseppe Gentile getting more playing time. I think he's going to get a little bit more comfortable as well. And simply, they just need to get some shots on goal. I mean, Sammy Enjok, we have seen him kind of squander a couple easy balls before. If we remember that game against Minnesota here earlier in the season, he gave up absolute terrible goals. So I think that's what the key is tonight, is just to get shots on net, and you might get lucky as well.
The first half, Chris.
Yeah, absolutely, and not resulting in any goals for Ottawa, but I like the pacing in the first half. You saw Coach Paul Dalglish at half saying that they just need a little bit of finishing and a better penetration when that last ball through in the attacking third, but so far, so good for the Ottawa Fury FC, other than that small defensive lapse leading to that first goal. Well, he takes care of his dog, and he's taking care of business here tonight. Lance Roseboom, his first goal as a member of the Ottawa Fury, and you can see just how much it means to him. What an excellent finish by Roseboom. Ottawa Fury playing some clinical football to close out this match. Jamar Dixon, Carl Howard, say no more. Lance Roseboom says, good night, Minnesota. Catch the next plane home. Yeah, in Minnesota, a top 4 team in the league, an MLS club moving on from next year, and Ottawa has scored 6 goals on them in the past 2 games, but you can just tell that there's a belief in the squad that, hey, we can win this game and we can beat this top team in the league, and it's a belief that maybe we didn't see earlier on in the season, and now we have some legitimacy to that unbeaten streak. No more draws, 2 straight wins, and just great night for the fans too. Goal barrage just started, and here was the great pass from Carl right to Lance Roseboom, and I think that's the secret here. Dan, you do an interview with me and you score your first goal of the year, so I guess we'll be talking to Lance a little bit more often from now on.
Actually, Paul Dalglish will probably get you to talk to each and every member of Ottawa Fury FC as you see our match statistics.
You're only 27 years old, but you have had a long career in soccer. You had a bit of a rough spell when you were with DC United. How difficult was it coming back from that major injury, and what did you learn from that? And I've saved my hardest question for last. I was speaking with Muzzy Jorio last week while you guys were in Puerto Rico, and he was telling me he was looking after your dog while you were away on the lengthy road trip. So you can be honest with me on this one. On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate Muzzy's dog babysitting abilities?
That's a difficult question because my dog is a psycho. So really, I'm gonna give him a 10 for the effort. Put in a lot of effort with that dog. He did not succeed in taking care of her at all, but I'm gonna give him a 10 for the effort because I don't think anybody could deal with her. I don't think any person on this earth is equipped to deal with that dog outside of myself and my wife. So I give him a 10 for effort, and I appreciate it.
Fantastic. Awesome. Lance, well, thank you so much. We appreciate the time, and best of luck for your career.
Thanks very much. Thanks for having me.
The growth of Ottawa soccer cannot be better embodied by Ottawa Fury defender Eddie Edward. Eddie, thanks so much for joining us.
Appreciate it. Thanks for having me on the show.
And kind of taking a trip down memory lane to your early years here in Ottawa. You went to high school out in Fairhaven and Mother Teresa and St. Joe's as well. Talk to me a little bit about growing up here in Ottawa.
Yeah, no, I mean, if you look around, the city is just beautiful.